Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Spolensky, and I'm the Director of User Experience Research. So first, thank you for making time to attend the UX Research Group conversation. I'm looking forward to answering your questions about our team, any of the research recently completed by either ourselves or our partners, and the research that's currently being worked on now. So with that, I'll ask the first person to verbalize their question, and it looks like it's Christy.
Yeah, it's me. Good morning, good
Good morning.
afternoon, good evening. On slide 4, you talk about the usability benchmarking pilot that we're running in the create stage. Can you tell us more about why we're doing it, what we expect to get out of it?
Yes, happy to. I'm super excited. I think the biggest challenge that I'm going to have answering this question is keeping it succinct because I have a lot to share about it. So I'll first start with an analogy. So a usability test, I would equate that to more like looking at the experience with a magnifying glass, and a usability benchmark is more like looking at the experience under a microscope. So one of the benefits is there's a closer look into the details on how a participant or one of our users goes through one of those tasks or experiences. Another, it's the present day experience too. It's not something that we're testing out to see how it goes before we put it out. It's already out there. The results are highly actionable as well. And also, we're using a variety of measures. In a minute, I'll hand it over to Ben to speak a little bit more about that. By comparison, a standard usability test might have a couple measures like pass fail, maybe something else in there. So yeah, that's it at a fairly high level. And also, due to all of the measures involved, there is a way to come up with a grading system as well. So all that's very exciting. I'll hand it over to Ben. Ben, if you're able to fill in any gaps that I may have left out.
Sure, thanks, Adam. I think you did an excellent job, but yeah, just to expand a little bit about what we're collecting and what that benefits are of that. Standard usability benchmarking might do things like completion rate, time on task. We're doing those as well as a customer effort score per task. We're counting errors. We have a severity metric that aligns with how GitLab addresses UX severity. We're asking a few overall questions that relate directly to our jobs to be done for Create. So we'll have really good metrics that bounce right back to what we're looking at anyway. And what's great about benchmarking is you don't just do it once. You do it once, you change a bunch of things that are generated from the first one, and then you measure it again and you see what happens. So this is really not just about doing one study, but about setting up a program that will keep us on track and allow us to measure things over time.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. And if we didn't answer the second part of your question, Christy, just what do we suspect we'll get out of it? Fairly high detailed actions that we need to address, because it'll be fairly clear where people fail and why, and also what needs to be done to address those. And ultimately, this could very well help us with SUS, because we're looking super close at these main jobs to be done that we know our users use our product for. And if they're suffering there in usability, we'll understand why.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this too. SUS is super useful to us as a company to gauge our usability score over time at a product level, but we don't come out of it with clear answers about exactly why all of the time. And so there is information that we can use from SUS and that we have used from SUS. And I'm not saying that we can't use the results from SUS, but like this is such a deeper dive into, hey, why is this happening? What is the priority of the things that we should do next? I think this is going to be really, really helpful. So thank you.
Thanks for the question. Next question from John.
Hey, Adam, thanks. We have a company goal of getting to 1,000 monthly contributors. I'm curious if we've considered doing any research on the like contribution journey and what that experience is like for people who want to contribute to GitLab. I think that could be a great way to kind of help us make that experience better for folks if we knew where people were getting stuck or how to make that experience better. And so I'm curious if that's not something being discussed, is what would it take to get that on your roadmap? And then if that's not something you see being a possibility, I'm wondering if you have any advice for us on how we can, look into that on our own. So very long question there.
Yeah, no problem. We have not considered that, but I think it's something worth thinking about for sure. I'd like to learn a little bit more about it, so I'll set up some time and would like to ask a few more questions around that. So that would help me understand a little bit about where it may fall within my team. And if it isn't directly with any of the team members, then it might be something that I can help out in some way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll add on to that, we do have a request process for research initiatives. And then Adam's team has done a wonderful job of setting up a prioritization mechanism for that, because we would love to research everything, but obviously we can't, just based on the number of people we have. But as we get these requests, we do look at it in the context of what impact does this have on the business. The contributor experience right now, I think, is primarily being run out of the quality department, and we don't specifically have research support for the quality department. However, we do support the quality department when they need it. So for example, Mech and I have been talking about a survey that he wants to run around reference architectures, and that's something that we're going to support because we think it's really important from a business perspective. So you're always welcome to make requests, and then we just kind of see how it fits in and what timing can look like and what makes sense in terms of how we run those studies.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Christy. Next, KT, our next question might not be safe for public streaming, so if you don't mind stopping the stream.
Thank you. And I'm going to write up some proposals. Omar, I know you're on. I think it might be a good idea in the future to default private, because we can switch it to public, right after the call. So I'm going to stop this.